Okay, so I spent my day here in Trieste, Italy. I basically did a walking tour and I got to see a couple museums. I think the main highlight of the walking tour was seeing St. Justice Cathedral. Kind of give you an overlook of the city, and it kind of showed you early Christian art and design. I'm really interested in that stuff. So it's from St. Justice was killed in the third century, and the church was dated from being a converted Roman temple to a church from like that time period up until the sixth century when they started out like Christian items into there and converting it into full on Christian Catholic church. So I hope you enjoyed that bit. But on the walking tour, I got to learn a lot about like the history of the city during the Austrian time period, and also got to learn about like James Joyce and his philandering and writings of the city. And the two museums I got to see was one was a wealthy person's home from the 19th century, kind of left his home and artwork, but I didn't get. I got to see just you'll see like a little bit of it. I was able to take some photos of the inside of it, but some of the artwork was prohibited for like filming and pictures. So if you're interested in seeing what it looks like in there, I'll post it on Facebook and Instagram. So on my story, so they kind of disappear after a couple days. So if you're really interested, watch it or look on my Facebook and Instagram. Um, yeah, so overall it was a good day, just kind of did that and kind of enjoyed Trieste, the vibe of it. It's a pretty chill city. I definitely recommend this place. It's a little bit more expensive than I think the Balkan areas, but it costs as much as like traveling in New Mexico or the States. But definitely, I hope you enjoy the video and yeah, just watch as much as you like. So this is like one of those rough days when you're staying in a hostel and you don't want to disturb your neighbors. I can't really blow dry my hair without like waking everybody up. So I'm like, I guess I just get to go out wet hair. But luckily it's like warm out, so it'll probably dry off pretty fast. I don't know. What can you do? Hostel living. But I think the next place I'm going, I have my own room, so it's nice. I could be that person just to be like whatever, but it's also taking up the space in the bathroom too. So if somebody needs to take a shower or use a toilet, then I'm blow drying my hair. That has like the least amount of value to anybody. So I'm just trying to be a good neighbor, a good roommate, and yeah, just be mindful of your neighbors whenever you're staying in hostels. Like blow drying your hair. If you need to blow dry your hair, just make sure there's like a space that's like away from people where you can do it. I guess if it's a super busy toilet bathroom situation, I don't know, just a word. But I'm here in Trieste and I'm gonna do a walking tour in a minute. I'm just having a quick like caffeine injection. I don't really have time for food because I'm just kind of dragging at this meeting. I don't know, maybe I'll grab something. I love Italy, seeing all the scooters and motorcycles. It's so cool. They're all lined up. Someone once said that a country that rides motorcycles is a fundamentally good country. So I don't know who that quote comes from. I might have just made it up, but I don't want to believe it. All right, so I'm here in Trieste, walking by this giant canal, and I'm going to be doing my walking tour of the city, which probably absolutely necessary because honestly, I've been struggling to keep up with all the places I'm visiting as far as learning about history, language, culture, pretty much everything. So these tours have been like a crutch for me to actually like know where I'm at now and kind of keep all my facts and figures and places straight. So hopefully this one's good. They usually are. I've had like one that was kind of iffy, but it's a cool place though. It's really pretty. Oh look, there's a James Joyce Cafe. Check this place out maybe. I think I gotta head that direction. I'm just gonna wait till traffic passes, I guess.
Did not existed. There was another one. It was not
So the city is a Jewish city. It's known for its coffee, and it was like,
Writers.
what's that?
Writers.
Writers, and it was important for the Holy Roman Empire. Cool. All right, so I'm here with my tour guide here in Trieste, and he was just telling me like the history of this street, of this area. During Yugoslav times, during the Cold War, this was like the main street for people to buy U.S. goods and change their money and stuff like that. So that's where they made their money here. But if you notice all the buildings, they're built kind of like in the Austrian style because this city is like always changing its character. It seems like it was a city. It's part of Venice for a minute. It's part of Holy Roman Empire. It was part of the Austrian Empire, and it's part of Italy after World War One. And then it became its own free city for a little while under Allied control after World War Two. And then it served as like a main port for Yugoslavia to buy Western goods, essentially. So this whole street was just filled with people, buying their Levi jeans, buying their like American toys and knickknacks, and yeah, just getting some U.S. dollars, I guess, changing their money so they could stash it away. But and now it's a whole different thing. So it's a tourist zone. It's an industrial area for Slovenia, Croatia, this part of Italy. So it's a city that's constantly changing its face, and initially had like a large Jewish population too. And over the years, that under like persecution from the Italian government after World War One during the Mussolini fascist era, that kind of changed. Um, a lot of people moved to Palestine during that time, and now it's a city with it still has a Jewish population, but it's much smaller and it's kind of shrinking. So, well,
In Austro-Hungarian Empire, there was a
oh,
family with Sanctity Lugi. They were from Venice. Then moved to Izla, to Slovenia. It's 20 kilometers from here.
so under the Austro-Hungarian Empire, I guess here in the Free City of Trieste, they issued licenses to basically rich families could have licenses to kill. There's so many people like stealing from their stores and stuff like that. They'd hire these ex-military people who had a city license to like basically murder thieves on the spot. And for the rich families who couldn't afford that, they'd put these heads on their stores to basically say, "Hey, we're getting a guy soon. We're gonna buy a guy that's gonna has a license to kill." But it was just kind of like a warning. Say it's like we're gonna do it. So this is like the evil face that wards away thieves. And my guide was saying there's like a female version that welcomes people in. So you got two types of things, but that's kind of a scary thought. So they'd hire basically war veterans who fought the Turks to come and basically act as like armed death security. Just kind of scary.
17th century. But today you won't see the new Jewish ghetto because thanks to Maria Theresa, uh, she decided to make the city as imperial free city of the Holy Roman Empire.
Okay.
And she started to rebuild Trieste with new buildings. Her son, Joseph II, he continued the project, and the next ruler after him, Leopold II, he finished the project. So the city was rebuilt with the new buildings. So today you'll see Jewish quarters. People still call Jewish quarters as a Jewish ghetto because there was a Jewish ghetto before.
Yeah.
But if we look in reality, it's Jewish quarters actually.
So this is the old stock exchange building built in Greek classical style from money from like the Greek businessmen and Eastern Orthodox people. So they kind of wanted to reflect Greek culture in this building because they were like some of the main business people in the town.
Just today. And it's not just a publishing house. Inside they have a big meeting hall of the movement of the freedom and independence. Between the UK and USA flag, you can see the flag of the Free Territory of Trieste. On the flag, you can see Alabarda, cut it into very small pieces, and he threw it from the balcony to the masked people who are coming below. So, how do you think what did he invent here in Trieste?
So this is where confetti was invented in this building here by like was it a Jewish guy?
Yes.
Yeah,
Of course.
cool. And yeah, so he built it here based on like what, like flower petals?
No, paper.
Oh, paper. Okay.
All the people were throwing rose petals, but he could not afford it.
Oh, it
That's
couldn't.
why.
Oh, so instead of throwing rose petals, he threw the paper. Okay, I get it.
Which is located in Venice, and Tieto La Scala, which is located in Milan. From September till December, they have symphonic music. From January till summer, as you can see, opera and ballet. And in summer, operetta festivals. In July and August, there are seats, there's a stage, they have concerts on the fresh air. It's not connected to the theater, it's totally different concerts. It was built in the beginning of the 20th century for Austrian lieutenants. You can see mosaics. They are made from the golden plate and Murano glass. Do you know what's Murano glass?
No.
Murano glass is made in Venice. I will show you the technique. It's just easier to show the technique. Then they also, it's like how it looks like. Uh, Technique is much more complicated. They do also this.
Oh wow.
They blow it, as you see. They blow it.
So all that's like up on there.
Yes,
So that's cool.
they also do like this, something like this. As you see, they make this color.
It's interesting.
Yeah. And in 1972, there swimming pool, and in there of the swimming pool, on the walls, there are frescoes. Of course, you cannot go inside and see them, but if you type in the internet frescoes of the Hotel Daki d'Aosta, you will see them. They are beautiful. And also in this hotel, we're staying famous people like singer Sting, you know this one?
Yeah.
And Francis Ford Coppola, the filmmaker. It's important here at the time. You can see the woman, she represents Trieste, which means that everyone around the world are welcome to Trieste. You can see vessels. When it was a working fountain, the water that came from the four vessels represents the four rivers of the four continents. The Danube, Europe, the Ganges, Asia, India, the La Plata, Argentina, South America, and the Nile, Africa. And now iguana and the head. How do you think who could it be under the legs of Native American?
Cortez, I don't know.
Yes, exactly. Hernan Cortez. It's him.
It's so funny. Iguana. I don't even know. Are iguanas from North America? I don't think so.
No,
I don't think they really knew their geography that well back then.
no.
Yeah.
The architect wanted to put style. So it's one of the few buildings which are in Baroque style.
Oh, sorry.
This
Like
one, the
looking.
church. The library. Inside is Latin cross and an altar which is made from the marble of different colors. The church inside does not look like usual Catholic churches on those buildings.
So like the line cut, like which side was the Jewish side and which side was
This-
like this side's the Jewish quarters?
So where you see police station was a building from the Jewish quarters in the past where the writer Umberto Sabo was living, but of course today you don't see this building. Now go inside. The first Jewish ghetto was built in the 13th century in Venetian Republic, and because they didn't have a space for the fireplace to put inside of the building, to put outside, and Habsburgs, when they build Jewish quarters, they have the same problem. So they just copied the idea from Venetian Republic. So,
Oh god.
and now you will see it. You go this way.
It's pretty small. So we're in the old Jewish quarters now.
Here you can see the fireplace outside of the building. You can see chimney. It's used only for heating when it's cold.
It's pretty narrow here.
Only people also. Here you can see Via del Pane, it means street of bread. When here was built a next new Jewish ghetto by Leopold I, there was no place for bakery, so one woman came here every day except for Shabbat and she was selling bread here. When they had Shabbat non-stop, but now, today nobody uses it.
So this is what people used before they had indoor plumbing. Basically, you had to come fetch water through these.
Yes, there was a well.
Yeah. Fun.
The synagogue was a very beautiful building, so there was a chair. So people could admire it, go painting.
So the wall now is where the synagogue used to be.
No,
Oh,
synagogue was there.
okay.
There was no wall. There was a chair.
Oh, sure.
Uh, so people could draw it or make a photo of the synagogue. But in modern days, from the beauty of the past, we have only
Yeah, you got that.
those two were not lucky. They were assassinated. This one was lucky. He was liberated. As I mentioned before, in the past, during the Second World War, there were also the good people like Finley who helped Jews and people who were against fascism. Windows of classical Catholic Church. Also, the building have an exit to the right side. Catholic churches they don't have an exit to the right side. They have only the main entrance. And inside, the space is not compatible with the classical Catholic churches. So basically, it was not a church at first, during Habsburg's monarchy. So what is unusual about this building?
Yeah, it's not shaped like a cross. Like usually, like it's just like a square.
What else?
Uh, that symbol is weird there too. At the all-seeing eye, I've never seen that on a church before.
Yes, it's you can see it on no, not on to buy anything. You can see it on the dollar bill.
Yeah, yeah. So who built this thing?
Built how it
Was
was
it like a Freemason?
yes exactly
Freemason Hall?
yes well
Oh,
during
okay.
Habsburg's monarchy, Freemasonry was not allowed. His girlfriend Nora in Dublin. One point Jim just got into scandal, so it has lived Dublin. Convinced Nora to come with him to Europe, but they didn't tell her parents that they're leaving. The first place which they visited in Europe was Zurich, Switzerland.
Okay.
But at that time, Zurich was expensive for James.
Well, yeah, it's expensive now. Nothing's changed, I
Have
guess.
you been in Zurich?
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's
no.
Switzerland. It's like,
So he looked in the newspaper. He saw an advertisement of the vacancy for an English teacher in the Berlitz language school here in Trieste.
oh, cool.
But there was a problem. There was no internet.
Ah,
So when he came here, they said that information in the newspaper was outdated. But for his luck, the new branch of the Berlitz language school was opened in Pula. At that time, it was part of Italy. Today, it's part of Croatia. So basically, James and Norris went to Pula. But after 5, 6 months, at that time it was Roman Empire, so Christianity was not allowed. He was told to stop it and convert back to paganism. He said no, so he was killed. Before he was killed, he said that Alabarda will fall down from the sky and prove that his belief is true. And by the legend, the very next day after he was killed, Alabarda fell down from the sky and proved that his belief is true.
oh wow.
At first, there was no cathedral. There was a church of San Giusto, you can see entrance, which is close there, and the church of St. Mary. This one is a, you can see no entrance. And in the middle was a grass. But between 14th, 15th century, they decided to annex it. You can see San Giusto. As you see the rope, the rope was taken over his body, the stone, and they threw him to the sea. That's how they killed him.
It's got the symbol there.
Yes, Alabarda. You can see some old stuff survived today. Not so much. You can see the school. part of Bourbon family who are buried here. You can see coat of arms of Bourbon family. Here you can see old mosaics. You can see altar of St. Justa Church. Inside is remains of St. Justa. This is the church was this way. One, two, three. Then there was a grass and there was another church. Like the honest cathedral. Mosaics. The life of St. Justa, his last days. You can see the mosaics. Um, they look like in Orthodox churches because in Orthodox churches they have gold color because in Catholic churches it's not so colorful usually. This is some of frescoes which survived to today. Mosaics.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Mosaics. Before gun, and this is the window is like a farm. It was made with intention here too, because when it became a cathedral, from that side and that side there are a lot of frescoes, which were made by Venetian and Constantinople's masters. In modern day, you can see that only a few of them survived to today. This one. Now, so when the sun was shining and those frescoes were here, it was touching those frescoes, so it's very beautiful. It
No.
also looks like from Orthodox Church. You can see also so the first temple, the second, the third one.
I mean, all the early Christian churches were all the same, so the Orthodox just kind of kept this style, or the Catholics changed, you know.
You can see the book.
Oh yeah.
After the book, you can see like the face. If you go right and up, you can see Alabarda here in the middle.
Oh, cool.
You don't see the stick anymore. It's not here, but it's also original from the This is a painting of St. Justo with Alabarda, and down is a painting of Alabarda fell down.
So that's where they decided to make the church then. Yeah, just all this stuff here too, the silver work. Look at that.
These mosaics and frescoes of this church, second St. Mary. As you see, these frescoes are newer than frescoes which you saw. Child is also Alabarda.
Yeah, once you see it everywhere, don't you? It's just like,
Yes, it's like a symbol of
yeah.
the city. This one is set one. Basically, as I mentioned before, how St. Just was killed, and his friend, as another person, they took him out. But at that time, he was already finished, as you see.
Yeah, this is some leftovers from Roman times, early church.
Inside is lapidarium, and museum of medieval weapons and armors.
Oh, cool.
Also from this side is a basically to Trieste, but the entrance is paid.
How much does it cost?
Walk down to the church, 1 kilometer and a half. There is an upland scale, which will do for your troops from Prosecco to Villa Cappuccina. There is a walking area. And if you go a little bit later, but you have to look in the internet on which date they are. And on the third floor, they have concerts of symphonic music, jazz, and similar. Uh, the concert starts at 1800. It was only bus 6 went to bus station Porto Vecchio, which means Old Port in Italian language.
All right, here's the old Roman theater. You can see the ruins here. They don't know the exact date when it was constructed, but
General Liberty is decorated with a huge amount of decorations.
Art Nouveau is that one,
Yes,
and this
Liberty,
one is
Liberty.
neoclassical.
Neoclassical with some
Okay,
decorations. As seen in the classical buildings, the majority of the building is a plain building.
okay.
That's the main thing.
So this is the forever bank of Trieste.
Yes.
Will always be a bank
Yes.
till the end of the world. All right, I've been eating a lot of super rich foods from restaurants and such, so I'm gonna have like a semi-healthy lunch, I guess. There's some fruit there, some yogurt, and well, I guess a sandwich and the croissant aren't too healthy, but gotta have my sweetie. So this is the port of Trieste. It was a port during the Roman times. It was a port for the Holy Roman Empire. It was briefly, well, for a century occupied by the Venetians. It was a major port for the Austrian Empire, Habsburg Empire, and after World War I, it became part of Italy. And briefly after World War II, it was its own country, its own free state. So from 1945 to 1955, a 10-year period, Trieste was a free state, free port. But during that time, I guess all the old port facilities are transferred to Genoa. So there's like you could see like way back there. There's the old like customs building and port infrastructure. So there really isn't that much like heavy like mercantile stuff happening right now. So it's mainly like tourist town. Coast Guard there. So this is like what the first Christian churches look like. So I'm gonna try to go inside, take a look. It's kind of interesting. So this is like a church now, but they were kind of imitating what the old Roman centers of worship looked like before. Yeah, it's like does not look like any other church I've ever seen before. That's for sure. So where all the Greek or Roman slash Roman gods used to be, there's now saints. The columns there. Yeah, the outside is kind of like really boring looking. So this church is currently closed right now, but I just looked it up. I guess it was actually built in the 19th century under the Austrians in neoclassical style. So they built it to look like it was built in ancient times. So it's kind of interesting, I guess. I wonder what the thought process was behind that. Maybe it was like homage to the local population, like Greek and Italian traders. I don't know. But it's a cool looking structure. It looks kind of like out of place in a way, though, I think. Cool. So I'm walking over to check out a couple of museums, but I guess here on the square they're doing like a motorcycle rally type of thing. So there's all these bikes parked out here. Yeah, I like Italian culture. They love their motorcycles for sure. It's pretty cool. Yeah, there's like a ton of bikes here. It's all different types too. It looks like it's pretty cool. I love that. There's like so many statues and stuff in the city. Just like all the buildings have different statues on their facades. All right, so I'm gonna visit this museum, the Sartorio. It's basically a wealthy family just gave their property to the city and they left their art and all their stuff with them. So I think it's free. If not, it should. It's a pretty nice property. Sorry, I couldn't really share much with you in there. I guess it was no no video stuff. I don't know. They're pretty protective of everything. So, and there's like even rooms where I couldn't take photos. They had a bunch of like old religious artifacts and stuff like that. So it's just like cool. I'll just go in there, take a look for myself. Um, it's pretty good. I guess it's worth checking out if you're here. But there's like a few other museums I'm gonna take a look at. I guess. So I'm just well, the other museum I want to look at's not open for like another couple hours. So I think I'm just gonna chill, have some drinks for a couple hours, just slip into vacation mode, and yeah, just enjoy the fresh, clean air here in Trieste. It's a beautiful place. Here's a statue in a little square dedicated to Emperor Maximilian of the Austrian Empire, and this was his main port to connect to the world, basically, and that's what this statue represents. You can see depictions of all different peoples of the world there. So this was their main access port. I guess it was probably the quickest port too that connects from here to Vienna, the capital of Austria. So it'll come through here and probably connect through like Ljubljana. So beautiful spot. Yeah, I haven't had a proper liter of German beer in a while, so I'm gonna give it a go here in Trieste. I still got like about an hour to kill before the museum I would check out opens. So give me a chance to write and think a bit. So I'm in the Oriental Arts Museum. So it has a bunch of displays from stuff from different parts of the Eastern world. Oh wow, this is like really pretty. Yeah, I guess like Trieste was a trading city, so I'm sure they were getting stuff from like all over the world. So like everything's in Italian. So I think this museum is basically designed for local people. Or some English. Yeah, these items probably were like highly desired. Getting stuff from China was a big deal back then. Yeah, here's some of the clothing. It looks like they got some kimonos and stuff like that. That's really cool. So you get a little taste of Asia from here. So all this stuff looks like it's Chinese. So yeah, they have some like really cool stuff here. Look at that. It's like really fine art here. Dang, look at that. Like how fine the artwork is in there. Yeah, they have like a really fine collection. Look at the blue on that. These colors are incredible. Just imagine people making these back then. Just the amount of time and effort they put into these things. And just like the sheer skill and ability to do it. It's pretty amazing. And these faces, look at that. That's incredible. This mask look crazy. Some sort of musical instrument down here. So like all these old buildings, I'm gonna really admire all the statues they have on like the front facing bits, you know, the facades with that. If you look really close, you could see them. And the city is just full of them. Like all the buildings have this little stuff tucked in there, you know. It's really cool.